London, a city well known for its historical landmarks, rich heritage and diverse community, is also considered as one of the big fashion capitals alongside Paris, Milan and New York. A destination for many tourists who come from around the world to visit the famous London Eye and the Tower Bridge, not forgetting about one of London's famous shopping streets, Oxford Street. Oxford Street is home to well-known shops such as Topshop, Debenhams, House of Fraser, Marks & Spencer and Selfridges. Many fashion weeks have been held in London with well-known models such as Cara Delevingne and Jordan Dunn. The fashion in London is always changing. But what could be the reason for this?
My name's Sandra Holton. I'm an art teacher here at Stanmore College. I think, well, in the last century we've seen like huge changes since 1910, and certainly in 1910 fashion was very restrictive, particularly for women. Fashion was quite restrictive, and as women have got more emancipated over the decades, then fashion has reflected that, and kind of changes in society have really reflected what's happening in the things that people wear. So for example, in like 1920s, fashion for women was very straight clothes, very boyish. Women used to bound their breasts down to look more, and hemlines came up as well. So women looked much more boyish in their body, but they were having more freedom, so they were showing more flesh. And as a kind of a reflection of the way they were getting more freedom and being out and about in society, doing more things. And then in the same way, in the 1940s, fashion is very, during the war, particularly in Britain, fashion, there was a sort of restrictions in the amount of fabric you could use in clothing. So clothing was much more like close fitting and functional, because women were working because as a lot of men were off fighting during the war, women working in factories and as land girls and things like that. And then in the 1950s, when the men came back from war and there was a time of much more abundance, clothing got much more glamorous. We had the kind of Hollywood look where lots of like huge skirts and nipped in waists, and women looked much more womanly, and it was almost like fashion reflecting women getting back into the home, because men had come back from war and they wanted their jobs back, and women were kind of pushed back into the home and had to look more womanly as a consequence of that. And there was a real emphasis on quite restrictive clothing in some respects, very high heels and tiny little waists and things like that. So fashion has kind of reflected societal changes very much, and definitely in the last decade we've seen massive changes in society and the way that people go about their daily business and the lives that people lead, and fashion is reflecting that. I think fashion definitely reflects people's personality in that you go and choose your clothing. So there's obviously that level of independence where you've made the choices yourselves, but then you're also influenced by the amount that you can spend and the kind of what's going on in your peer group and the kind of lifestyle you lead. Your jobs that you have and your daily lives reflect what is suitable for you to be wearing on a day-to-day basis, but then obviously for special events or occasions you'll be looking at more kind of glamorous or exciting clothing.
I wouldn't say I actually have a style. I pretty much just wear whatever I like and I think it looks good.
I think the opposite is more likely. I think there's quite a bit of snobbery and people think fashion, the general consensus of opinion in this country is that fashion is very superficial. I think people involved in fashion are very bitchy or unpleasant and only interested in appearance. I think if you're really interested in fashion, people think, I would say the opposite, people are considered less bright if you're interested, or more superficial, maybe not brightness. I don't think it's an intelligence thing. It's like how superficial that you're appearance obsessed.
It kind of depends on how much time I have. I would say in a normal, when I have like an hour to get ready, I probably just use some BB cream, concealer, eyeliner, and I'm ready to go, pretty much. Yeah.
Style and what's happening around you is what really affects fashion a lot, and especially like in a multi-ethnic place like London, we have so many influences, so much clash of like all the media around us. It really comes out in fashion, experimental and exciting ways.
I think new fashion is influenced by like celebrities a lot, and really, really big brands like Chanel and all that. A new fashion trend I would like to bring back, and why? I would probably bring scrunchies and everything that's related to 80s and 90s, because it's just so fabulous. What advice I would give other girls? Probably just wear what you like and don't listen to other people. Don't let other people pressure you on what you should wear. Just feel good wearing it.
Fashion in London is always changing, is always evolving and always will, helping the fashion industry to progress, hence helping London maintain its reputation as one of the world's fashion capitals.